Smackdown results. And your wrestlers' birthdays for this week. Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday to Devon. As well, Devon Hughes turned 42 on Friday. He was born August the 1st, 1972. And Devon and his longtime tag partner, Bully Ray, are scheduled to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame during Bound for Glory weekend this year. Former WWE wrestler Yoshitatsu, real name Naofumi Yamamoto, turned 37 on Friday. He was born August the 1st, 1977. He was released by WWE on June the 12th, 2014. Jimmy Golden turned 64 years old. He was born August the 1st, 1950. In addition to working under his own name, Golden appeared as Jack Swagger's father just recently on WWE TV and also worked as Bunkhouse Buck in WCW. Hall of Famer Lou Albano was born July 29, 1933. He died October 14, 2009 at the age of 76 following a massive heart attack. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 1996 by Joe Franklin. Scott Steiner also had a birthday. His real name was Scott Rex Steiner. He turned 52 years old. His birthday was July 29, 1962. And there was no dark match advertised on the Arena website for the Smackdown tapings. There was a video of a fan trying to meet Brock Lesnar and his wife, Sable, at an airport in Orlando last week. The husband of a girl in the video who filmed it explained what happened. Sayori went up to Brock and asked if he was Brock Lesnar. Brock first didn't hear her until Sable said, "Brock, I think she is talking to you." Then Brock turned around and looked at Sayori and asked, "How are you?" Sayori said, "Fine," and she asked him, "Are you Brock Lesnar?" He said, "Yes." And then she asked, "Can I take a picture with you?" And he said, "No, not today." Sayori then said, "Thank you," and walked away. Of course, there was a small video on it. Anyways, the husband told Sayori it was okay, no worries. It was still cool to see him and see my wife talk to Brock. And that was on one of the dirt sheets. And of course, they didn't have a link, so I didn't get the link for you. December 8th episode of Raw is changing venues from Greenville, South Carolina to unknown present time right now. It's canceled. Well, normally, that particular week, Shreveport or Bossier City gets that time frame. So here's throwing that out for anybody in WWE that does watch some of my videos. Chris Jericho, last appearance currently scheduled for Night of Champions pay-per-view, according to Rod's Girl from WrestlingInc.com. You may have noticed Paige does not grapple in traditional wrestling boots. Rather, she competes in shoes one would wear on the streets. Her choice of shoes are Doc Martens, a British footwear brand. Speaking to WWE Magazine, the former Divas champion explains why she wrestles in her shoes. "I'm used to it," Paige says. You have to break them in, so I had to wear them on the streets. They're very good. And the British, sticking to my guns. I'm really happy that they're back in fashion again because I love them and I own a pair. So I might as well put these babies on. After Daniel Bryan had his home broke into for the last couple of months and caught the criminals, put them in a chokehold, former WWE Tag Team Crime Time spoke on that and said Daniel Bryan had every right to subdue one of the guys who broke into his home. Said that this week, and added, if this had been their crib, the thief would have been dead. And there was a video, and I'll post that on there for you. So you hear from their own mouth. Alberto Del Rio suffered a cut that required 7 stitches while working a match that was taped for WWE Superstars on Monday. During Alberto's match with Justin Gabriel, Justin's elbow struck Alberto's left orbital area of Del Rio, causing a laceration. As Dr. Chris Amen told WWE, Del Rio was able to work the featured match against Dean Ambrose, and on WWE main event, the injury was very noticeable. And by the Smackdown tapings, you can definitely see that he was wearing a lot of makeup. And he still had a lot of swelling around the eye. However, he was still able to work and had a decent match with Ambrose. Nikki Bella and Big Show will be appearing at Thursday's NXT tapings. If I can get the results in, it'll be on this video. On that, she's now back with the company. Brie Bella was also appearing. WWE released NXT developmental wrestlers Garrett Dillon, Travis Tyler, Slate Randall, Mac Miles, and Danny Jax, according to Mike Jackson of PW Insider. Also recently released this week was Ricardo Rodriguez. More news on that coming up in a few seconds. WWE made office cuts on Thursday as well. It's unclear whether the NXT talent cuts were made for budgetary reasons or just a turnover that occurs at the company shuffles out talent to make room for new signees. As seen on WWE TV, since AJ Lee's return, fans have been chanting for CM Punk when she's in the ring. At WWE live event in Oklahoma City last week, the fans there didn't chant for Punk at all, but Paige referenced Punk when she did the call for her to signal the GTS to taunt AJ for in their match. And here's the news about Ricardo Rodriguez. Announced that he and WWE came to terms to his contractual release from the company. I have come to terms with WWE on my release, quote unquote, as he wrote. Another quote, I want to thank them for the great 4 years, but I miss wrestling, unquote. They also announced that the release did the usual bit of wishing him the best of his future endeavors. And Rodriguez has been working as El Local in NXT. Nikki Bella appeared on the Kid Chris show and handled some wild questions from the Shock Jock crew. She was asked about Beth Phoenix's genitalia, John Cena's ex-wife, his jorts, and how far she would be willing to go with a homeless woman to end world hunger. I don't know how much more I can say about the NSFW talk. You have been warned. Still, Nikki sounded like she had fun and took the picking well. Regarding the new heel stable with Xavier Woods, Big E Langston, Kofi Kingston, people that have worked with Woods noted that he was very good doing heel promos when he was practicing for his role. Thus, he has done this before in NXT. Go back and watch some old NXT or FCW. FCW content. Noted before the Stardust and Goldust defeated Big E Langston and Kofi in a dark match at the TV tapings in Corpus Christi. There were people upset with them taking a loss, but it was a dark match, which really doesn't matter with WWE. Irish tabloid The Irish Mirror is reporting that WWE United States Champion Sheamus was on set in Ireland for the forthcoming Star Wars Episode 7 movie. Directed by J.J. Abrams, the story also notes that Sheamus has previously played Darth Vader in promotional videos and speculates that he might play the iconic character in the movie. Sheamus did nothing to help the rumors. He tweeted a picture of the article and added, I can't confirm that I won't not be reprising role of Darth Vader in Star Wars. I hope that's clear, Irish Mirror. You can see that tweet on Twitter.com. Speaking of Sheamus, Sheamus has played Vader before? For real? How did I miss that? Seriously, doubt the rest of the story, because the paper is a tabloid akin to the New York Post in America. Still, I can't blame Sheamus for playing coy. If someone asked me if I was playing Vader, I would just smile and walk away too. Update, originally compared to the Mirror, the National Enquirer, but that analogy is too strong. I have changed to the more appropriate New York Post comparison. Speaking of Sheamus, why he missed this week's tapings? He's been sick. And he's currently at home in Ireland. That's why he's there. A jury in Minnesota awarded WWE Hall of Famer Jesse the Body Ventura $1.8 million in his lawsuit against the estate of the late American sniper Chris Kyle. Kyle said in his 2012 book that he beat up a man in a bar that he later found out was Ventura. Ventura sued Kyle's estate for defamation and produced witnesses in court that said Kyle's story never happened. The jury said on Monday that they couldn't reach a verdict, but the judge told him to go back and try again. Triple H advertised is scheduled to appear, looks like, as a talent in the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in October, on October 26th, but the champion at the time, Lesnar, is not scheduled. And now for your main event results. Of course, they have advertised Dean Ambrose vs. Alberto Del Rio, report by Jason Powell, ProWrestling.net. From Corpus Christi, Texas, at an American Bank Center, Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton was on commentary, introduced the show and hyped footage from Raw of the Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella saga. Dean Ambrose made his entrance wearing street clothes. I'm back and I'm in a foul mood, Ambrose said while standing in the ring. He mentioned his promotional tour that kept him away from Raw storyline and said it was an easy way for the authority to keep him away from Seth Rollins. Ambrose challenged Rollins to come to the ring. He asked if Rollins was going to hide backstage and eat protein bars with Triple H or come into the ring and get nuts. Ambrose took off his jacket and there was no sign of Rollins. Ambrose took a seat in the ring briefly and said, "Nothing." "Yeah, that's what I thought." Ambrose said he will go through whoever the authority puts in front of me and he will make Rollins pay the price for selling out. Alberto Del Rio walked onto the stage and spoke as he walked to the ring. He said Ambrose looks like he just came out of the dumpster. Del Rio told Ambrose to stop worrying about Rollins and start worrying about him. As Del Rio entered the ring and noted that Ambrose still has his shoulder wrapped, he said it was like a present for him and he wanted to take his arm home with like a trophy. And Del Rio kicked the shoulder of Ambrose and then left the ring. The broadcast team spoke at ringside and recapped the segment, then shifted to discussing the SummerSlam main event. Footage here from Raw of the John Cena and Paul Heyman's opening segment. The Uso brothers were shown walking backstage, and the broadcast team said that if they would be in action later after a break. Commercial. Solid setup for Ambrose vs. Del Rio. It beat going cold into the match involving two wrestlers who don't have any notable history together. Meanwhile, Raw highlights as the major hook for the show right out of the gate. I assume they hyped something else for the show, but I had a network feed hiccup, and I am still afraid to hit the rewind button during a live show because it never seems to work properly. Match number 1, the Uso Brothers vs. Ryback in a non-title match. Xavier sat on commentary while Big E and Kofi stood by. Wood said he is voicing the trio's frustration to the world. He said that despite all secondary titles that Kingston has won, he has yet to receive a single shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. He said they are watching each other's backs and now they will succeed. Wood said he signed autographs and was a nice guy when he joined WWE, but he sees the error of his ways. He said he blames the distractions of having people tell them what to do for their past struggles. In the ring now, and Ryback performed what appeared to be a top rope elbow drop, but Jey Uso moved out of the way and he tagged his brother. Axel performed a perfect flex on Jimmy, only gets a 2 count. Short time later, Jimmy performed a top rope splash on Axel for the win. After the match, the Uso brothers and Woods and E and Kingston had a brief stare down, and the match only took 7 minutes. Broadcast team hype the main event as well as the Raw footage of Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella as they got a commercial. Most interesting part of the match was Woods on commentary. He did a nice job of answering some of the basic questions about the trio. He is a good talker and he sounds like he believes what he's saying. The match itself was fine, but it's hard to view Ryback as anything more than an enhancement tag team. It's not their fault as much as it is the way that they have been positioned as a heel duo that puts over all the babyface tag teams. The broadcast team then set up the Raw rebound footage of Brie and Stephanie. The broadcast team then read a tweet from Daniel Bryan saying he was proud of Brie Bella. Then they hyped SummerSlam. Phillips and Michael Cole will have an interview with Brie Bella on the WWE website on Wednesday. Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil headed to the ring for a tag match. Commercial break. Slater Gator Pop Box promo was shown. Slater was once again fired up about his team name, whereas Titus said he didn't even want to be teaming with him. If only there was a group of disgruntled black wrestlers that Titus could align himself with. Match number 2, Zack Ryder and Tyson Kidd versus Titus O'Neil and Heath Slater. Ryder has a black goatee that brings back memories of the alternate universe version of Eric Cartman on South Park. Kidd had a nice flurry of offense on Slater, then caught Titus with a nice kick to the head. Well, according to that, it looks like a enziguri. Ryder hit his broski boot. Then Kidd performed a nice running drop kick on Slater while he was tied up in a tree of woe. However, Slater caught Kidd on the ropes, slammed him, and pinned him. And the match took 4 minutes 50 seconds. It appears the idea is to make Slater Gator something of a bickering babyface duo, with Titus not being happy with the oblivious Happy Slater. It could be decent comedy relief if they play it right, and Slater definitely has a fun personality when he's not playing air guitar. How many comedy tag teams have they had? Well, you had Santana Morella's tag team. Then you had them again, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. I guess until Darren comes back from his injury, then that's what will happen. Well, the broadcast team hyped Randy Orton would deliver a message to Roman Reigns on Friday's Smackdown TV show, and Dean Ambrose made his entrance for the main event. Alberto made his entrance, so we get the match. Ambrose went right after Del Rio to start the match. Del Rio came right back with Ambrose charging at him in the corner and missed, and sold his tape shoulder injury. Del Rio applied a hold to target the shoulder of Ambrose. The crowd clapped in support of Ambrose, who broke free with punches. Ambrose went to the top rope, but Del Rio tripped him up, and Del Rio set up for a move, but Ambrose gouged his eyes to break free and knocked him to the mat. Ambrose followed up with a missile drop kick. Ambrose threw punches and kicks. Del Rio backdropped Ambrose over the top rope, but Ambrose landed on his feet and onto the apron. Del Rio caught him with a kick and knocked him to the floor, heading into a commercial break. Del Rio had a hell of a goose egg and a cut on his eye that he entered the match with. He performed a superplex for a 2 count, and definitely, like I said, you definitely tell the makeup covering it up. Ambrose came back with a clothesline and a running crossbody block, and even on Smackdown on Sci-Fi Network, you can even tell, especially with their HD and a better close-up on the makeup. Del Rio cut him off with a punch, but missed a running kick and went through the ropes. Ambrose went right after him with a suicide dive that knocked Del Rio into empty chairs in the front row. Ambrose, who was bleeding from the mouth, performed a cool tornado DDT for a good near fall. Del Rio came back with a shoulder jacker and hit his super kick on the kneeling Ambrose. Gets the 2 count, and Del Rio goes for a cross arm breaker, but Ambrose dodged it and performed the clothesline. As Seth Rollins walked out to booze, Ambrose went to ringside and brawled with Rollins as the bell rang immediately. Ambrose got the better of the brawl initially by slamming the head of Rollins into the announcer's deck. Rollins came back with a punch, but Ambrose whipped him into the barricade. Ambrose rolled Rollins inside the ring and then clotheslined him over the top rope. As Ambrose was announced the winner by disqualification, and the match took 13 minutes 40 seconds. Quality match with hard work from both men. The finish didn't make much sense as Ambrose went to the floor to confront Rollins, so it's not like Rollins interfered for the disqualification. I was actually waiting for the Triple H to come out and have the result of the match changed. Still, I'll take a flawed ruling over the usual apparent non-finish. Overall, a solid edition of the main event, mostly thanks to the main event and explanation of Woods regarding his new trio. The dark match in between the main event tapings and the Smackdown tapings saw Stardust and Goldust defeat Big E Langston and Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods at ringside. Also, another match before the main event taping took place in Corpus Christi saw Adam Rose, along with his Road Buds, defeat Damien Sandow. And Sandow came dressed out as Rose and got a heel heat by making fun of Texas. Tag team of Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil, now being called Slater Gator. They defeated Zack Ryder and Tyson Kidd in tonight's main event, and the new nickname for Layla and Summer Rae's alliance is the Slayers. WWE announced that Randy Orton will have a special message for Roman Reigns on Friday SmackDown. That's why I get two results. I don't know if I got the second results for SmackDown. Well, SmackDown. First report was Jack Swagger versus Cesaro started off SmackDown. Swagger won with a Patriot Lock. Rusev and Lana came out after the match for a promo. Zeb responded to the challenge and accepted Swagger versus Rusev is on for SummerSlam. And of course, it's a flag match. Randy Orton came out and cut a promo on Roman Reigns. He challenges Reigns to a match at SummerSlam. Kane and Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose in a handicap match was announced for later. R-Truth beat Bo Dallas by disqualification when Bo wouldn't break the 5 count. As Bo beat Truth down after the bell and cut a promo. AJ Lee squashed Rosa Mendez by submission. Paige attacked AJ at the top of the ramp and laid her out. Officials checked on AJ as Paige skipped away. Kane and Seth Rollins beat Dean Ambrose by disqualification when Ambrose hit Kane with a steel chair. Rollins runs away as Ambrose hits Kane after a few more times. We see AJ Lee being taken away on a stretcher with a neck brace on. Fandango versus Diego. With Summer Rae and Layla was out next. The Slayers. Diego got the win when the Divas distracted Fandango. Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio with the Miz on commentary was up next, and Miz interrupted the match standing by on the announce table and mocked Ziggler. Ziggler went after him, but Miz got away. Del Rio through the crowd. Del Rio took advantage and hits a cross-arm breaker on Ziggler for the win. Eric Rowan and Chris Jericho was the main event. If Jericho wins, Rowan is banned from ringside at SummerSlam. The referee sends Luke Harper to the back because he pulled Jericho from the after getting in the ring as Jericho got the eventual win with a code breaker. Bray Wyatt then attacked Jericho, but may have been part of the dark match main event. We're not sure yet. Triple H announced the NXT event to take place on Friday SmackDown, but the broadcast event is scheduled for September 11th. Live event taping on the network live feed. The live special will be broadcast on the WWE Network. 4-way main event should be a blast, and I'm anxious to see whether Charlotte can deliver another strong match as she did with Natalya at the first TakeOver event. So this is TakeOver 2. And thanks to the results by Zach Zimmerman. And here's the spoilers for the next few weeks. Well, this one is a match that's scheduled for the event, the live tapings. Live broadcast, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy versus Les Legionnaires in a hair versus hair match. The Ascension versus Kalisto and Sin Cara for the NXT Tag Championship. Charlotte versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. Adrian Neville versus Tyler Breeze versus Tyson Kidd versus Sami Zayn in a 4-way for the NXT Championship. And for the NXT spoilers for the next few weeks. From Winter Park, Florida, it's Full Sail University. Report by .net, Zach Zimmerman. Dark match of Solomon Crow defeating Buddy Murphy. Yeah, the same dark match they've been seemingly having for the last few months. And Natalya defeated Carmella. August 21st, first episode. The Vault Villains defeated Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy to advance to the finals of the tag tournament. Les Legionnaires ran down to attack Amore and Cass after the match. Match number 2, Charlotte defeated Becky Lynch. Amore and Cassidy challenged the Legionnaires to a hair versus hair match to set up your live special match. Mojo Rawley squashed Steve Coulter as Steve Cutler. Mojo cut a promo on Bull Dempsey after the match. And match number 4, Kalisto and Sin Cara defeated Sami Zayn and Adam Rose to advance to the finals of the tag tournament. Triple H then came out and announced the live broadcast special. TakeOver 2 will take place on September 11th. And your main event for that evening, Tyson Kidd defeated Tyler Breeze by countout as Breeze walked out of the match. August 28th episode, Billy Gunn came out and introduced a guy who came out of a giant microwave and danced with 2 human pizza rolls, the glorious Sponsorships. Match number 1, the Ascension squashed a pair of enhancement wrestlers. Go figure. The reporter did not give any names. William Regal was named the new GM of NXT. Well, that was expected. As his first act, he called out NXT champ Adrian Neville to make the main event for TakeOver 2. Neville came out, but Tyson Kidd interrupted. Tyler Breeze and Sami Zayn came out as well. All 3 made their cases to the challenger, or to be the challenger. Neville said he wants all 4, and Regal agreed. TakeOver 2 main event will now be Neville defending against Breeze, Kidd, and Zayn in a fatal 4-way dance. Match number 2, Bayley defeated Sasha Banks. Bayley will challenge Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver 2. Charlotte came out and belittled Bayley in a promo. Bayley said Charlotte doesn't take Bayley as a serious challenger, and that's why Bayley is going to win. Bayley offered her hand, but Charlotte refused and threatened that Bayley had been warned. Match number 3, Bull Dempsey defeated Angelo Dawkins. Match number 4, Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze defeated Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. There was a lot of miscommunication between partners, and the show closed with Sami Zayn standing alone in the ring holding the NXT title. September 4th episode, Charlotte defeated Alexa Bliss. Bayley came out and said that despite Charlotte refusing to shake her hand, Bayley earned her shot at the title. Charlotte slapped Bayley, so Bayley responded by planting Charlotte with the belly to Bayley and holding up the NXT Women's Championship. Match number 2, Tyler Breeze pinned Ty Dillinger. Match number 3, Tyson Kidd over Adam Rose. Match number 4, Sami Zayn defeated Marcus Louis. Amore and Cass attacked the Legionnaires post-match. Then match number 5, Adrian Neville defeated CJ Parker. Match number 6, Kalisto and Sin Cara defeated the Vaudevillains to win the tag tournament. After the match, the Ascension came onto the stage to stare down their TakeOver 2 opponents. And then they had a main event dark match. Big Show defeated Cesaro. And that concludes my report for main event, Smackdown, and NXT spoilers. And if you didn't know, you better call me, bro. Thanks again. Peace out.